So anyway, Next Level Mastermind, we do a weekly mastermind Zoom call with these are the most powerful people in network marketing. The average earning in this group is probably $800,000 a year, average. You have to prove that you're 6 figures or above to get in. So as soon as we're able to get together physically, we get together a few times a year, but the real value is in the networking and sharing of ideas from all these different countries, all these different companies, all these top leaders, all these different philosophies, sharing ideas every single week. It's unbelievable what that thing's about. So that's one where you have to apply, and you'll see, depending on how you're watching this, you'll see either on the side of this video or below this training, one of the two, you'll see some buttons that at some point, click on the buttons and check them out, okay? So you'll hear about those. If you're ready to get into the training, let's get into the training, all right? Let's make it happen. So now, first thing is that I want to talk to you about is to know the game that you're in. Know the game you're in. It's really important that we all, as network marketing professionals, know the game that we are dealing with, that we know what we are working with, that we know what our numbers are. And in this opening little segment here, I want to give you some numbers and some trends and some different things that are happening inside of network marketing that as leaders, we need to be aware of. Know the game you're in. So first thing is to kind of understand the activity measurements of what happens inside of network marketing. And the reason why I'm telling you that is, if I was to describe what is leadership, what is the goal of leadership, what would you say in the comments? Tell me what you would say the goal is of leadership. Or write down, what do you think the goal of leadership is? What do you think it is? I'll give you my opinion. The goal of leadership is to create action that wouldn't have been there. To get people to want to do things that will move the organization forward, move their lives forward, move their customers or their prospects' lives forward, to get them to take an action that they wouldn't have taken. A leader is there to get people to do things that they wouldn't have done, to get people to take a step, to get people to take an action, to get people to create a result, right? Leaders lead, yes, but for why? Why? To get a result. Lead by example, yes. Why? To get a result. We're trying to help people to take a step, and good leaders get people to take a step that they wouldn't have taken. You take the leader out and the person doesn't take the step. The leader comes in and the person or the group of people take the step. So it's about impact. It's about results. You can't just say, I'm a leader because, I have good ideas. All that's fine, but guess how we measure leadership? We measure leadership by results. We measure leadership by impact. We measure leadership by the consequences and the results of the activity that you're creating. So to do that, we need to understand, I want to show you a benchmark of leadership, okay? And I know we have this on graphic, but I want to write it anyway. Leadership. Now, the information I'm about to give you comes from big data inside of network marketing. In other words, to take the last 10 million people that have joined network marketing, the last million people that have joined network marketing. What have they done? And I'm talking specifically about people who have joined and have the ability to build a business. Whether they do or not is something else. But they join and they have the ability to recruit others, build a team. Okay? If you take the last 1 million people, 70% of those people recruit 0 people at any one moment in time. 70% of all participants inside of network marketing have recruited exactly 0. They kind of call them consumers, which means they just purchased the product. They have the ability to recruit, but they don't. Or they haven't yet, okay? A snapshot at any moment in time. 70% are consumers. You're like, whoa, that's a big number, right? It is, but it's understandable because many people just join to be able to get products at a discount. Many people join, use the product, love the product. Some people join, use the product for a while, stop using the product, right? Some people join, thought they were going to build a business, got too scared, and decide to just use the product instead or to walk away. But 70% at any one moment in time are consumers, recruit exactly 0. 20% have recruited between 1 and 2 people. We call those people social enrollers. They love the product, they're willing to share, but they don't really think of this as a business. Okay? Social enrollers. They've recruited 1 to 2 people lifetime. 20%. 5% have recruited 3 to 5 distributors. And those 5%, and this is what big data uses these labels. They call these people salespeople. They have 3 to 5 distributors, and they probably have more customers than that. They sell and service customers, essentially. 5%, okay? 3%, and the reason why I said that big data puts these numbers is 6 to 9. They've recruited 6 to 9 people. They use the title, which I think is a little grand, sales leaders. They recruit other people who are salespeople who are servicing customers. They're not really building a big team, obviously, because they've only recruited between 6 and 9 people at any one moment in time, right? And then 2% have recruited 10 or more. They call these the super recruiters. Now, here's one thing that I want you to understand about these numbers is some people will go, man, these numbers suck. Well, it depends on how you look at it. Here's the way I look at it. Everything above this line, all of these people are tourists. They're not really building a business. It's a little side hustle. You know, we're happy to have them, but they're kind of glorified customers. They're like an Amazon customer who referred a friend. You know, they're a DirecTV customer who said, hey, to a friend, check it out. They use Uber Eats and they referred a friend. They're not really building a business, really, right? They're tourists. They're important tourists. We love tourism, but they come and they go. They're not permanent residents here. The permanent residents start here, below this line. This is the business people. This is the whole deal. I would say most of you that are on this, if not all of you, are already in this super recruiter group, right? This is the whole game. So we're dealing with 2% of people that we're going to build a business on, and we are encouraging the rest to have the greatest experience they can with the product, make a few bucks, enjoy it along the way, maybe be involved with some personal development, feel better, hang out with a positive group of people, right? So the leaders are here. This is the entry point. This is the gateway. This is the starting line. If we're going to teach people to run a race, this is where they start. So first thing for your notes, if you're not already starting with notes, I would just tell you, you have to put a huge emphasis on this. When the person joins, how long do you want to take before you get into this business group? How long do you want it to take before you get 10 or more? How long do you want it to take before you're ready to step into another level and go from a tourist to a business builder, from a tourist to a leader candidate? Now, they're not a leader yet. You recruited 10 people. You might not be a good leader yet. But one of the key measurements, we're going to talk about key performance indicators in a bit. One of the key measurements that I'm looking for inside of the team, who's done this? Who's done this? And if I find somebody hungry, guess what I'm going to tell them? I need you to get this done. Let me help you get this done. Let's make this a priority. Let's get you into this group. Now let me tell you how important this group is down here. This group, 2%. They average 27 recruits, personal recruits, on average. They recruit approximately 70% of all distributors in any company. 70%. The tourists bring in the other 30%. The super recruiters bring in the 70%. So where do you want to spend your time? Working with this group in order to be able to maximize this group. Now, I will tell you, there's a great measurement when it comes to super recruiters in your organization. And here's the measurement. If you have 1% of all the participants in your organization, 1%, in other words, if you have 100 distributors and one of those 100 on your team has recruited 10 or more, 1%, you're actually going to be declining. If you only have 1 out of 100 that does this, your sales, your recruiting, your growth is going to be going down. If you have 2%, you're going to be stable. That's normal, 2%. So you have 100 people on the team, 2 people out of those 100 have recruited 10 or more, you're going to be stable. If you have 3%, you're going to be experiencing double-digit growth. And what do I mean by that? 10%, 20%, 30% growth year over year. With 3%, 3 out of 100 have recruited 10 or more. And if you have 4% momentum, you'll experience momentum, 4%. So this is something you can actually look for. Let's say you have 100 people on your team. You can identify a handful of people that want to get this done. If you make this a priority and you reward this behavior, they're going to want to get this done. And if you identify, let's say you identify, you got 100 people on the team, you say, who wants to get into this super recruiter group? Who wants to get 10 or more recruited, get that done? If you ask the question, you're going to get 20, 25, 30 out of the 100 say, yeah, why not? Me. I want to do it. Now, not all of them are going to do it, but if you work with that group and you encourage them to get this done and you help them face their fear to get this done, you can get yourself to 4%. And if you get yourself to 4%, you're going to be experiencing momentum, whether your company is or not. You will be experiencing momentum. You say, well, my company's doing this. Doesn't matter what your company's doing. You're a company. What are you doing? You could be experiencing this while your company's experiencing that. This is such a key indicator. It's really important that you understand these numbers. Next thing I want to share with you is there's a big debate as far as where should you be, focusing. Should you be focusing on customers or should you be focusing on bringing in distributors? What should you do? And I got to tell you, when I first joined my early years in network marketing, I really didn't. I didn't enjoy bringing in customers. I didn't see value in bringing in customers. All I wanted to do was build my team. All I wanted to do was talk to distributors because distributors give me leverage when customers were just, this little tiny money thing, right? So all I wanted to do is bring in distributors. And in reality, that was a major flaw in my thinking. And it's been proven over the course of the last 30 years, and in particular, the last 5 to 10 years. Here's what big data tells us. So this isn't just an opinion. Some people join for the product. Some people join for the opportunity. But there's a big difference between why people join and why they stay. Some people join for the product and they stay for the opportunity. Some people join for the opportunity and they stay for the product. And guess what? It's about equal. It's about 50-50. So if you bring in 100 customers, it's likely that a good chunk of those over time, if you're a professional, if you're a good leader, will upgrade to distributor status and start to build a business and enter these numbers that we just described. And if you bring people in for the business, if you do a good job and get them emotionally attached to your product, then even if they don't have success or they're not willing to face their fear necessary to grow a business, then they will at least stay as a customer. And that creates continuity within your organization. That creates residual within your organization. That creates passive income. So don't be too hung up. There are some companies that are extremely heavily customer weighted and are very successful. There's other companies that are very distributor weighted and they're also successful. So don't feel bad. Some people are like, well, we're too much customer based. We need to be more distributor based. I mean, there is a continuum here. On one side, you have money is evil. Building a team is, only for bad people, and we're just going to put on our lab coats and we're just going to bring customers, and it's a cause and a mission, and that's all we want to do. And on the other side is we just want to make money. We just want to build a business. Product doesn't even really matter, right? These are these two extremes. So a healthy balance, I think, is a little bit to the customer side of center. But if you're way over on one side or the other, it's probably healthy to swing it a little bit more towards a balance. But don't, if it's working within your organization, within your culture, don't be too freaked out about it because, like I say, it's about 50-50, equal. The number of people who join for one reason, stay for another reason. Okay? All right. Let's talk about understanding leadership. Understanding leadership. A leader creates action. A leader creates results. Movement that wouldn't be there without the leader. And there's so many ways to define a leader, but I'm going to give you 5 that I've identified as kind of core. And just think about how you measure up on these 5, and then how many people in your organization measure up on these 5. And now, these 5 are pretty simple, but you put them together and they're extremely powerful. So number one is to be independent, to not be needy, to not whine and complain and blame, but to just take charge. Take charge and have a sense of independence, to not be dependent. That doesn't mean to be a lone wolf and pull away from everybody and just be a rogue, but it does mean being independent and not being needy. That's the biggest criteria, not being needy, being able to do this without help, without leaning on someone else. That's number one. Number two is problem solver, to be a problem solver inside of this business. Problem shows up, you solve the problem. You take care of it. A problem solver is the most valuable. I tell my kids all the time, if there's any skill to develop in life, is to be a problem solver, because guess what people pay other people for? To solve problems. And the bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck. The bigger the problem you're able to solve, the more you can get paid. So we're going to talk about problem solving over the course of these 2 days, but I want to start by saying, look, some people think solving a problem is by giving their problem to somebody else. That's not being a problem solver. That's being a weak follower. It's like, oh, I have a problem. What should I do? Here, you take it. Oh, I have a problem with my team. What should I do? Oh, here, let me give it to the company. Let me give it to my upline. Let me give it to my spouse. Let me give it to my kids. Let me give it to the team. So learning how to use your resources is one area of problem solving, but if all you're ever doing is just bringing your problems to other people, you are not a problem solver. You're actually creating problems for other people. Learn how to become resourceful. Learn how to become to solve problems, small and big. Learn how to say, no, I got this, and figure out a solution, okay? Problem solving is number two. Number three is consistency, how to be consistent. Leaders are consistent. Leaders aren't great one day and bad the next. Leaders don't show up one day and disappear the next. Leaders aren't good just in different seasons of the year and they disappear for the rest of the year. They're consistent, and the consistency creates confidence in the team. The team knows that the leader can be depended on. And, you know, Marina and I talk about this all the time. There is always a place in the world for a person who does what they say they're going to do. There's always a place for a person to be able to just make as much money as they want in any profession they want. All they got to do is do what they say they're going to do. Show up, be consistent, be dependable. Now, I struggled with consistency over the course of my network marketing career. I literally would have made at least double what I made in my network marketing career. I made $15 million as a distributor in the field. I would have made at least 30 if I would have been more consistent. But my inconsistency sabotaged my growth. I'd get some momentum on my team and then I'd just get rebellious and I would disappear. I'd stop returning phone calls. I wouldn't be there, and I just wouldn't be dependable, and my team would get discouraged and their productivity would go down. And what did I say leadership is there to do? Increase activity. Increase the right activity. So my actions actually decreased activity. And so I was always starting over, building momentum. Consistency is number three. Number four is a big vision and the ability to communicate that vision. A big vision and the ability to communicate that vision. Whatever the vision is and whatever the leader is, good causes or bad causes, every leader in the world has had two basic themes. There's a promised land, and we can get there together. There's a better way, there's a better life, there's a better something, and we can get there together. That's the message of every single leader in the world. Moses said there's a promised land, and we can get there together. Let's go. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream. What was the dream? It was his vision. And we can get there together. Come on, let's go. Let's make it happen. Gandhi had a dream. Nelson Mandela had a dream. Great leaders and bad leaders have had a dream. Elon Musk has a dream of re-engineering the world. Steve Jobs had a dream, right? The leaders you love, the leaders you hate, they all have a dream. They all have a vision, and that vision causes people to take more action. So it's not enough to just talk about your company's vision. It's not enough just to talk about your upline's vision. What's your vision? So strong leaders have a very strong vision and the ability to communicate it. A secret vision doesn't help. Oh, I'm just going to keep my vision in my head. I'm just going to let my action, my results speak. Well, you're not helping people. That secret vision is not causing people to take more action. And that's what we're trying to do as leaders, is to create more action. Okay? So what is your vision? We're going to have a vision workshop over the course of these 2 days. A vision workshop to help you design your vision for the future, your vision for your team, your vision for international expansion, your vision for how many people you're going to help with your products, your vision for how much wealth you're going to create in the distributor and leadership growth within your organization, your vision for the rank advancement, your vision for how many people are going to attend your next company event as soon as you can have one, right? Your vision. People join you as a leader more than they join your company, more than they join your product. They're joining you. And they're looking you in the eye and say, can I make more money with this person? Can this person help me get where I want to go? And guess what they're measuring? They're measuring your vision. So that's number 4. And number 5, the best way to measure a leader is, do they create action? Do they create results? Right? Some people, just by showing up, they walk in the room and everybody jumps to attention. They start creating more action. Some leaders get people to want to work hard to earn that leader's respect or attention. Some people do it for recognition. Some people do it to be part of an inner circle. Some people do it to make somebody proud. Lots of different ways. But the end result, sometimes the leader's so clever in their campaigns and their systems, their challenges, their communication, that it causes people to take more action. So think about these 5 criteria. Independent, problem solver, consistent, big vision, and they create action. Now, first thing I'm going to have you do is rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 on each one of those 5. And be honest. How independent are you versus how needy are you? How much of a problem solver are you? How consistent are you? How big is your vision? Are you creating action or not? On a scale of 1 to 10. Now here's the thing. None of these things are that hard. They're just not. They're pretty easy to do. Each one. But it takes a decision, it takes a focus, it takes a game plan. If you're currently dependent, you need to have a game plan to become independent. And we're going to talk about that in this training. If you're currently not a problem solver, you need to have a game plan to become a better problem solver. If you're currently inconsistent, you need to have a game plan and hold yourself accountable to be more consistent. If you currently are using somebody else's vision, or your vision's weak, or nobody knows it, you need to have a game plan to create your vision, strengthen your vision, have the ability to communicate your vision. If currently your team is not taking action, I hear this all the time. I'm bringing in people, but they just won't do anything. I recruit a bunch of people, but they just won't do anything. They just lay there. What is that a measure of? You as a leader. If you were a better leader, they'd take more action. Now, not everybody. I'm not asking you to beat yourself up over the tourists. Tourists come and go. They're not permanent residents here. But over a long enough period of time, if people continue to not take action, you need to step in and become better at creating action. And I'm going to give you tons of strategies over the course of this training on how to create more activity in your team. Lots of tips, lots of tricks, lots of strategies. Now here's the thing about this real leadership. If you find somebody that has these 5 characteristics, these 5 attributes that I just described, and I've polled the $1 million a year earners in network marketing, and guess how many people they have on their entire team that meet these 5 criteria. Person's earning $1 million a year in network marketing. $1 million a year in network marketing. The average is about 25. 25 people in their entire team that meet these 5 criteria. 25. So what do we need to do? Number 1, we need to become this type of a leader. Number 2, we need to learn how to identify people that have the potential to be mentored into this type of leader. And number 3, we need to mentor and develop them into this type of leader. Because if we can identify 25 inside the team, chances of you becoming a 7-figure earner have just gone up dramatically. Okay? So some people are really tough graders with this, so they'll say, oh, I only have like 7. And some people are really, easy, oh, I have like 50. But on average, it's 25. Okay? So pretty cool. Let's talk about the big challenge that's happening inside of network marketing when it comes to leadership right now. And I hope you've started your notes. Hope you've got something going so far. And I want to talk to you about what's happening. You take a look at what's happening inside of network marketing. When it comes to leadership development, weak leaders or strong leaders, it's very difficult to grow leadership, real leadership, more than 10% to 15% per year. Max. Max. Very difficult to grow true leadership more than like 10% a year, which would look something like this. 10% a year over, 5 years, let's say. So this is the health of your organization. And then maybe that's a little light. Give it a little bit more. Okay? That's the true health of your organization. If you were a stock, this is like the fundamentals. Okay? This is the fundamentals. This is what you can count on. This is what you would invest in. This is the stability of your organization. Because everything rises and falls on leadership. Everything. Now, you might be in momentum right now. And your sales are higher than your leadership development. And I will tell you, inside of network marketing right now, virtually everyone in network marketing is growing right now. Because of what's happening in the world, people are, using this opportunity to work from home, build from home, make more money from home. And I mean, I've got a friend, his name is Damian and Stefania. They've got a big organization around the world, but mostly in Europe and the Middle East. And they went from $2 million in organizational volume in March to $8 million in organizational volume in June. From 2 million to 8 million. Unbelievable growth. And how much, I mean, post into the comments, how much has your organization grown in the last 120 days as a percentage? I'd be curious. Type it into the comments. I'd like to see those because I know we have some high earners here and some big organizations represented here. So when this happens, you got your leaders growing here, but you have momentum on your team. And let's say the momentum is sales is here, leadership development is here. Sales is here, leadership is here. Morgan says in 3 months we've done what we did in the previous 12 months, 70% growth, right? So let's say you're growing faster than your leadership. Let's say Angel says she's increased by 100% in 60 days, 100% growth in 60 days. So what does that say to Angel and to everybody else? You're creating a gap between sales and actual leadership. Sales and leadership. So when this gap is created, what has to happen? One of two things must happen. You have to either increase the leadership or the sales is going to come back down to the leadership number. Here's the truth. Let's say you're right here, right now. What did I just do? That was fancy. Let's say you're here right now. You've created this leadership gap. And if you don't create this, if you don't close this gap, this is going to happen. For sure, 100%. For sure, this has to come down to this fundamental level. So some people are like, well, gosh, I got a gap. That's a big problem. Look, you're trying to create a gap. You create a gap, then you fill the gap. Then you create a gap, then you fill the gap. But if you outgrow your leadership, what you need to do, you got to do two things in order to be able to kind of navigate this. First thing you need to do is you have to inoculate your team. You have to prepare your team. You have to let your team know that this is opportunity. This is reality. This is exciting, but strike while the iron's hot, because this is not forever. This is not, you shouldn't count on this. I could show you company after company after company after company that skyrocketed, and then they had to adjust. They adjusted. And because they did not prepare their teams for the adjustment, they did not let people know this is the game we are playing. This is stuff to work on. This creates, we're bringing in more tourists and hopefully finding more business builders to identify, mentor, and grow in order to be able to move this line up as fast as we possibly can. Because here's the real danger. When this is going on, this number actually goes down. Because nobody's paying attention to leadership development. They're just riding the wave, just excited, riding the wave. This number goes down. If you got to keep, number one, keep your eye on the ball. Number two, you have to prepare people, because I'm not going to name any names, but Most of you have been involved with a company that at some point outgrew their leadership, and there became a leadership gap. There became a lot of complacency inside of the leadership team. They thought it was easy. They thought it was never going to end. They thought they were going up because they grew up 30, 40% year over year over year for 3, 4, 5 years. And then this happened. And they always have something to blame it on. Oh, we changed the comp plan, or we changed the product formula, or this other company started to attack us. They attacked you because you were vulnerable. They attacked you because you were weak, not because you were strong. Right? And when this happens, everybody goes, well, the ride is over. I'm just going to go someplace else. Well, the roller coaster has finally hit the downslope. I need to jump into some other company that's hot and exciting. And they will leave. They will leave. I know one company that went from $3 million a year to $300 million a year in 2 years. The next year they went from $300 million to $450 million. And everybody thought it was over. Everybody quit. And everybody was so lazy, and everybody was so entitled, and everybody was like, oh, this just became work. This isn't fun anymore. And no one along this crazy ride was telling them, this is the game we're in. This is something that we're enjoying, but this is the game we're in. We've got to drive this line up. We have to increase the skills inside of our team. We have to let people know that this is not forever. At some point, we got to raise this number up, or we're going to expect to have a correction. Like in the stock market, if something just goes too far, too fast, it has to have a correction. It's just another form of a bubble. It's so important that you understand this. So every one of you leaders, we build a gap, we fill the gap. We build another gap, we fill the gap. We build another gap, we fill the gap. All the while, we're letting people know this is what we're keeping our eye on. We are identifying people who have the potential to become leaders. We are mentoring them into leadership. We're taking advantage of momentum, but at the same time, we're not counting on this. And the other thing I would tell you, get me all fired up here, but the other thing I would tell you, don't encourage everyone to only spend money based upon this line, not this line. This is an illusion. Take that money, put it into investments. Take that money, put it into savings. Take that money, pay off debt. Take that money, create freedom, but only spend this money. Spend this money. This money don't count on, because the big problem that I see inside of network marketing is people change their lifestyle to this line. And when they change their lifestyle to this line, when this goes down, they're in trouble. When this goes down, they can't afford their house payment. When this goes down, they can't afford to keep those kids in that school. When this goes down, all of a sudden their credit card debt becomes a real problem. When this goes down, they've got an issue because they didn't use this window to pay off their student loans. Live on this line, take advantage of this, use this to sort to find more leaders, inoculate people along the way. Make sense? All right. This is what I work with more than anybody else, more than anything else. Oh, look at all the little things I did here. Is working with this leadership gap and understanding this leadership gap in order to be able to help people experience more long-term results. That's the name of the game, long-term results. Can you give me a fresh page? Or do I have to do it? You got it? Thanks. So I want to build a framework here that you need to understand. And this framework, I would encourage you to kind of put into your business plan, your strategy on how you're going to grow a business and how you're going to develop yourself. Leadership, oops. Okay. Wow, look at that. Leadership is the goal. Leadership is the prize. Leadership is what we're trying to develop. And we're trying to drive people, we got our raw materials driving people into leadership, to become leaders. Like I said, 25 or so on average will end up creating huge results for you. And I'm going to finish this little thing, then we'll take a break in just a few minutes. Leadership is our ultimate goal because leadership is the engine that drives it all. Now, for the last 11 years, and for most of my network marketing career, I was teaching and preaching that skills were the thing that buys you time for a person to become a leader. The skills create competence, competence creates confidence, and from that confidence, people have more time because it takes a while for a person to become a leader. Put into the comments how long it took you from the moment you joined network marketing until the time that you felt like you were a leader. At least a basic leader, a fundamental leader. How long did it take you? For me, it was like 3 years. I think on average is around 3 years at least for a person to step into leadership inside of this profession. So skills buy you time for a person to become a leader. Now, in the last 3 years, what I've worked on, 3 years, 4 years, 4 years, 4 years, takes time. So skills buy you time. Now, what buys you time for a person to become skilled? Systems. And we're going to talk more about systems after the break. Systems buy you time for a person to become skilled. A system for bringing in customers. A system for bringing in distributors. A system for recruiting. A system for training. A system for event promotion. A system for getting a person started effectively. A system of recognition. A system. Now, I'm going to talk more about systems, but what you're looking for in a system, because a person's not skilled yet, you're looking for a system that's skill-proof. You don't have to have skills to do the system. And fear-proof. You can do it even though you're afraid. Skill-proof and fear-proof are what you're looking for. And we're going to talk a lot about systems over the course of this whole training. Skill-proof and fear-proof systems buy you time. Because I plugged into systems for years before I became skilled. And I still got results. And once I became skilled, it bought me time to become a leader. So systems buy you time for a person to become skilled, and skills buy you time for a person to become a leader. And there's one thing above systems that I've been working on with a lot of top leaders lately, and that is campaigns. Because systems are hard, systems are complicated, systems take time. If you right now, today, said, I'm putting together a system for recruiting people into my business, it's gonna take you 6 months to a year to get that system refined. And then another 6 months to bake it into your culture. It takes time for a system to get solid. So in the meantime, you can have challenges, you can have little campaigns, you can have a 7-day burst of energy. You can have these little assignments that you provide to the team. I want you to go do this for the next 3 days. We're all going to do this. We're going to have this little contest. We're going to have this little incentive. We're going to have this campaign. We're going to have this strategy. We're going to have this holiday special. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And this buys you time for systems to get solid. Systems buy you time for skills to get developed. Skills buy you time for leaders to emerge. So this is the game. This is the whole game. We're going to talk about all 4 stages over the course of this training. All 4 stages. The best campaigns that are working around the world today, the best systems, the 12 or so systems that you need to have identified and developed and baked into your culture within your organization, how to create a skill people-based organization, because ultimately the best trained organization wins. And then how to identify and mentor top leaders inside of your business, okay? Is 90-day game plan a campaign? Yes. Lots of different campaigns, and we're going to talk about all of those. So let's do this. I went a little bit longer than I wanted to in this first session. I hope you're getting value so far. We'll take a little break. While we're taking a break, you'll see some testimonials from people who are inside of the Next Level Mastermind. I would encourage you to think about joining that Next Level Mastermind if you are a six-figure earner and above and you're not already a part of it. I know most of you are already a part of it, but check that out. You'll see some testimonials. Take a little break, and we'll be back in about 7 minutes. See you then.
There are so many things I could tell you about this group, but for me, it's the ability of so many top talented people who have the same questions, same concerns, same challenges that I face, that you probably face, to come together and be able to share strategies, tactics, tools, and philosophies that have worked with them in their businesses that you can take back to yours. I've been told often that you can't shortcut to success, but you can create leverage. And the best leverage you can have is when you can tap into other people's experiences, other things people have spent the time and money to develop for a fraction of that cost of your own time and your own money. And with Eric Worre facilitating, world class as he is, always pushing boundaries, always raising the bar, always taking things to the next level, he's done it again. And this by far is the tool that I feel that I needed to maintain my level of excitement, enthusiasm, and belief that I can keep making a difference, making an impact, no matter how old I get.
This is the place you need to be, especially if you are working internationally, getting all the ideas, what is working in Europe, what is working in the US, what is working in Asia, or wherever you are in the world. So please join this group, because you have to be in there. If you're not there, you're missing out so much.
Hello, this is Jared
and Crystal Krebs,
and we are so excited and honored to be part of this Next Level Mastermind. Since we've been here, we have learned so many strategies that we're going to be taking home to our teams, all the different types of systems, from customer acquisition systems to distributor acquisition systems to mindset to apps to communication to leadership development, everything next level, everything with people who are, quite frankly, earning multiple times what we earn, and we're doing great in this industry. So we're excited about what we're going to go ahead and take back to our teams. And what do you want to add?
The energy here is incredible. This is really eye-opening. I mean, if you want the whole big vision and perspective on what you really can do in this industry, you have to be here. It's amazing.
We highly recommend it. Get into the Next Level Mastermind as soon as you can.
See you there.
I joined the Next Level Mastermind because as a new six-figure earner, I had a lot of outside noise. I had a lot of confusion as to how to go to the next level. And joining this and being a part of Eric's incredible group has just shown me and given me clarity. When there's so much outside noise and you're not really sure how to go to the next level, this group has done it all. It's grown my confidence the most. And for me as an entrepreneur and in network marketing and wanting to be a seven-figure earner, this is the path I know for sure is going to take me there. My team has seen a change in me. My income is growing. My home life is growing. And it's all thanks to this incredible program. You absolutely need to be a part of this group. I can tell you it is going to take you as an entrepreneur to the next level. It's going to take your team to the next level. It's going to change your world. It's going to change everything about your business by just making the decision to partner in with Eric and just go all in and go pro.
Hello, this is Doug Parker, and I want to tell you about the Next Level Mastermind. I'm telling you right now, it has been unbelievable working with Eric and the other team members. The energy is unbelievable. And I've only been a part of the group for a couple of weeks now, but even on the very first Zoom, I got enough value out of it that could very possibly pay for the whole investment. So hey, if you want to take your business to the next level, I recommend that you become part of this right now. No question about it. Go to the website, sign up right now. It'll take your business to new heights.
The best people in the industry are right here. They're right here. And what you want to do is you want to compress time. If you want to speed up your business and become successful, you got to be here. It's not just Eric Worre. It's all the power that's in a room. The people you're going to mingle with. You're going to be able to mingle with the money, and it's right here. I come here as much as possible because I know this. Every industry, I don't care what industry you're in, it changes every 2 years completely. You got to be here. Hey, we want you to grow your business, and you got to be here at the Next Level Mastermind group so you can explode your check.
And as my buddy Tom Chenault likes to say, and we're back. Tom has his radio show he does every week, which is awesome. If you don't listen to it, you should. But he always, and we're back, and we're back, and we're back. He's like a pro. He's a pro radio guy. Anyway, Tommy, good to see you. Before I talk a little bit more about leadership and we start diving in, let me just give you my outline of topics that I want to cover in the remaining 5 hours. I want to talk about leadership attributes, the attributes of super successful leaders, why leaders and how they think differently than normal people, the stages of growth in network marketing, time management for a network marketing leader, the journey from dependence to independence for you and your team, why balance is bullshit. That's my notes, as I just figured I'd repeat it, and how to create a support system, how to guard your time, attention, and energy, the key performance indicators that you need to track your organization the most powerfully, how to become world-class as a leader inside of our profession, the division of labor between field leaders and company when it gets out of balance, what creates duplication, systems to create, refine, and protect, how to build your personal brand, building the culture within your organization, social media ideas and strategies for leaders, campaigns to drive your businesses, challenges to drive your businesses, how to become a world-class promoter, how to become an amazing problem solver, how to manage dragons and monsters within your organization, how to build long-distance groups effectively, finance and wealth strategies, the power of velocity, team relationships, how how to develop really strong relationships with people on your team so they'll never leave you. Corporate relationship strategies, how to deal with distractions, how to manage the boring and mundane, which I work with a lot inside of network marketing leadership training. We have a vision workshop we're going to be going through, retention strategies for customers and distributors, some regulatory thoughts, how to identify leaders and develop them, and a 12-month game plan. And if you have any other topics that you would love to see me cover, put them into the comments, and maybe I'll add them to that group if I can get to it. So it's going to be a pretty action-packed time together. So let me talk to you about, I want to talk a little bit before I start getting a little bit more into the fundamentals. I want to talk about some attributes of leadership. And one of the best movies that I've seen that reflect these attributes is a movie called Braveheart. You ever see the movie Braveheart? Mel Gibson movie. What was his name? William Wallace? I think it was William Wallace. And fighting for freedom inside of his country. And if you break down what I see, and there's many, many great leaders that are on this training that are part of this, which should give you a clue. But one of the main ingredients of a leader's emotional state is their philosophy. And what I mean by philosophy is it all about you or is it about the team? Is it about your ego or is it about the team? Is it about your rewards or are you trying to help others? Is it about a vision that's broader and bigger than you or is it just about you? Because people will figure you out real fast. And if it's just about you, they will not follow. Matter of fact, there are some people who call themselves leaders, and in the short term, they get some growth. But because it's all about them and people can figure it out pretty quick, some people in the downline will stop performing just to cost the upline some money. Just to pull them back from their ivory tower. They'll say, you know, I'm tired of making that guy money. I'm tired of making that woman money. So philosophy, think about William Wallace. Think about Braveheart. Was it all about him? Was it about his ego? Was it about his status? Was it about his income? Was it about his glory? Or was it about freedom for his people? It was about justice and freedom. Justice and freedom. And it was obvious. He didn't want the titles. He didn't want the stuff. He didn't even care if he got credit. He just wanted freedom for his people. That's what he wanted. Now, that's one. Another attribute that's very, very important is competence. You gotta, at some point, learn what you're doing. You gotta know the fundamental skills. You gotta know how to go into battle. William Wallace was an interesting character, but if he died in the first fight because he wasn't competent enough to fight or wasn't clever enough to figure out how to outsmart a more powerful opponent, it wouldn't be much of a revolution. You've got to be competent in addition to being big-hearted and helping people inside your organization. Third is your image. Your image actually matters. Now, I'm dressed in a suit. And you know why I'm dressed in a suit? Because I'm talking to you about leadership. I'm not going to show up in a tank top t-shirt. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, unless you know it's a joke, it's not going to inspire people. Your image actually matters. How you show up matters. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be in a suit. What it means is you need to be showing up to your organization on purpose. on purpose. It needs to have an intention. It needs to have, you're trying to seek a result, whether it's connecting with your audience or whatever it is. You have a responsibility to show up in a way that inspires people to have more confidence and inspires people to take more action. Sometimes you need to change your image in order to be able to change the results. Change how you show up to your team. Your image actually matters. Next is your vision. What is your vision? We talked about that before. We don't need to talk about it again. Number 5 is your game plan. What is your strategy? As a leader, what is your strategy? Yes, here's the vision. I have a dream. You know, there's a promised land. There's a better way. But how? But how? But how? You've got to have the ability to develop a game plan and the ability to communicate that game plan, the ability to refine that game plan. But without a game plan, people are like, well, what's the plan, boss? What's the plan, leader? And you're like, do our best. Lead with love. I mean, what's the plan? You got to have a game plan. Otherwise, people are just going to get discouraged. And even if you have a game plan, sometimes people get discouraged. Intensity is the next one. What I see with leaders around the world, they have something. You know, like in Hollywood, they call it it. They have it. And it can be developed. You know, Mel Gibson didn't have it when he was a farmer in Braveheart, but once he found the vision and the passion and the game plan, remember the scene? Everybody's standing on the hill, they're ready to go fight. Everybody's saying, you know what, I'm out of here. I'm out of here, I'm going home. And what happens? William Wallace shows up with his face painted. Show him that one, John. He shows up with his face painted and said, you want to go be crazy with me? Let's go do something crazy. Let's do something outrageous. Let's do something nuts. Let's go change the world. They have this level of, they got this power and intensity. Now, it doesn't need to be manic. Some of you literally can paint your face and you go nuts. But others, it's a quiet intensity. Other people have a quiet intensity, but you can still sense it. You know, I've got an intensity, but I'm not, you know, over the top. Some people can be over the top. Some people can't because it's not authentic. But whatever it is, this intensity, this passion, yes, that's a good word, this passion designed around, inspiring. Because what happened when he showed up with his face painted on the horse and said, come on, let's go do this crazy thing? The people who were going home, they said, you know what? All right, let's stay. Let's go ahead and sacrifice our life. Why not? Intensity matters. Another thing that I see with top leaders is they're unreasonable. They are unreasonable. And I find unreasonableness, if that's a word, to be one of the most valuable attributes of leadership ever. To be unreasonable. The reasonable person conforms to the world around them. I might as well just be reasonable. The unreasonable person asks the world to conform to their point of view. Therefore, all progress is based on the unreasonable person. You've got to learn to be unreasonable. You've got to learn to have outrageous standards. You have to learn to not be normal. Steve Jobs was unreasonable. Elon Musk is unreasonable. Richard Branson, unreasonable. Every great leader in the world, unreasonable, unreasonable, unreasonable. And one of my favorite unreasonable stories is from Maya Angelou, the poet, African-American woman, great woman. And I heard this story that she was having a dinner party, and somebody came to her dinner party, and they're all friends, they're all hanging out, and somebody told an off-color joke. It was a little bit mean-spirited. And she stopped the party and says, "Excuse me, young man, you have to leave." He's like, "What? It was just a joke." She said, "I understand, but we don't have those type of jokes in my house. We'll talk later. We're still friends. But for now, you have to leave." He's like, "Oh my gosh, can I apologize?" No. These are my standards. You might call them unreasonable, but you need to leave. This is what creates change. This is what creates progress. You create a standard that's so powerful, so unreasonable, so outrageous that people find strength in your unreasonableness. Power in you, the fact that you have standards that you're willing to hold on to. So I would ask you this question. What are you unreasonable about in your team? What standards are so powerful that you'll ask somebody to leave if they violate them? What are your boundaries as a leader? Because if you don't stand for something, I would question your leadership. You need to be unreasonable. What are your standards? Another attribute of leadership is awareness. They are very aware. They're aware of what's happening. If they're losing their edge personally, they're aware if they're getting lazy. They're aware if their team is faltering. They're aware if leaders are getting soft. They're aware of everything that's going on within their organization. Now, weak leaders are not aware. A weak leader will just ignore red sirens that should be going off. They'll ignore them, or they'll justify them, or they will just allow them to happen. They'll allow an organization to be raided. They'll allow an organization to be bullied by a bad leader. They'll allow an organization to be treated badly. They'll allow laziness to set in. They'll allow people to not show up at events. They'll allow negative behavior. They'll allow it all. And then when things go really bad, those poor leaders will blame everybody else in the world. Where the strong leaders, they have a very, very high level of awareness of their weaknesses, of their strengths, and what's going on in their team at all times. They know what's happening on their team. They know what's growing. They pay attention to the numbers. They know everything. And one more attribute, and I have a lot of these, but they have the ability to communicate. Their own style, maybe, but they have the ability to communicate. They have the ability to communicate. They can let people know what their philosophy is. They can let people know the power of becoming competent. They'll let people know why they need to develop their image. They'll let people know what the vision is. They'll let people know what the game plan is. They'll communicate their intensity. They'll communicate the fact that they're unreasonable and what they're unreasonable about and why they're unreasonable about it. They have the ability to communicate. Loudly or softly, doesn't matter. It just matters if people hear it, and ultimately it matters if people take action based upon what they hear. Okay? So, leaders think different, man. Leaders think different. Leaders act different. They think different about rejection. They eat it up. Bring it. They think different about failure. They never fail. Either they win or they learn. They think different about their emotions. They manage their emotions instead of their emotions managing them. They feel different about opportunity, about fear, about network marketing, about their past, about support. They create the support. They don't need support. They create the support. They think different about social acceptance. They think different about wealth, about education, about everything. They think different. So, let me talk about 4 stages of growth in network marketing. Stage 1. Stage 1. 0 to 100,000. This stage, hard work. 100,000 a year is just a decision. Just decide you're going to work your ass off. Just decide you're going to make it happen. Just decide you're not going to be held back. Just decide, I'm doing it. I'm going to the top. You're gonna see me waving from the top of the mountain or dead on the side. I'm not coming back. I'm making this happen. Just grit, just pure grit. I'm doing it. And you can communicate that to your teams. That's really what it takes. Grit, grind, make it happen, figure it out. One person who's made a decision can get to us 6 figures. You don't even need to have a duplicating team. You build it all on your shoulders if you need to. 0 to 100,000, hard work. 2, 100,000 to 250,000 is all about duplication. Campaigns, systems, bursts of energy. 100 to 250. You can't just get to 250 on hard work. You burn out. You can't get there. I mean, you put everything on your shoulders, at some point, you can't carry anymore. You can carry your whole team to 6 figures, but you can't carry them to 250. It's very, 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 you have to be a freak of nature in order to be able to do it. So you got to be focused on duplication. How can you create more duplication on your team? How can you create activity that's happening when you're not involved? It's got to start to separate from being all about you to being about others, about systems, about campaigns. Phase 3, 250 to 1 million, is all about promotion. Promotion. How do you promote your system? How do you promote your event? How do you promote your product? How do you promote your culture? How do you promote promotion? And we're going to do a whole workshop on becoming a world-class promoter. Okay? 0 to 100, hard work. 100 to 250, duplication. 250 to 1 million, promotion. And 4, 1 million plus is about leadership, identification, and growth. Leadership, identification, and growth. Identifying people who have the ability to have these 5 criteria and growing them. So some people get to 1 million and then they don't step into this and still stays about them largely with promotion, duplication, and hard work. You still have to do all 3, but they don't really step into this piece. And because of that, it's very, very difficult to hold that number. But the leaders that I know that have gone to 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, there's many of them that are on this training right now, the way they got there was through this. I mean, they went through all the steps. They still do all 4, but they make sure that they're balanced between these 4. Okay? So put into the comments, where are you? 1, 2, 3, or 4? 1, 2, 3, or 4? 0 to 100, 100 to 250, 250 to 1 million, million plus, and then we're going to start talking about creating the systems around that. I know we have a lot of stage 4 people. And I also know we have a lot of stage 4 people that are really doing stage 3 work. They haven't done stage 4 work like they need to, so they don't have the total freedom. Good to see all the numbers. Great, great, great. Love it. Okay. Let me see what's next. I guess I'll go in order. Can you throw up the rainbow one that I did? Let's talk about campaigns for a bit first, and then we'll get to systems, then we'll get to skills, then we'll get to leadership. Well, actually, give me a fresh page. Thanks. So leadership identification, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to sketch it all out for you so you know what we're leading to, right? So when you got skills, how should I do this? Let's say you got skills. You got the 7 fundamental skills. Put this in your notes. Whoever has the best trained team wins. Whoever has the best trained team wins. So 7 fundamental skills. We need to buy time for those skills to be developed. So let's talk about what systems we're going to try to create while we are developing people and getting the skills developed. Okay, so I want to walk through the different systems that need to be in place. Okay, 1, customer acquisition. How do you acquire a customer? Now, again, when I'm talking about systems, let me put it over here. Skill proof. Fear proof. That's what we're looking for. Do you have something that an amateur can do in order to be able to acquire a customer? What can they do? Skill proof and fear proof systems that will help them acquire a customer. Okay? Here's when you know you have a system. Everyone knows it. Everyone does it. And it works. That's when you know you have a system. If you have something that works to acquire a customer, but everyone doesn't know it and everyone doesn't do it, you don't have a system. You just have something that skilled people can do. But if it's too scary and they won't do it, you need to refine your system in order to be able to do it. We're going to come back to this, but I'm laying this groundwork so we can get to the campaigns and talk about how we buy time while we're developing these systems. And on the other side of this, skill proof and fear proof, that's the core. Everybody knows it, everybody does it, and it works. When you have somebody on your team, here's what you want your team member to think when they look at the system. When you say to them, here's how to go acquire a customer. Here's what you want them to think. This looks simple. I think it will work. And I think I could do it. That's what you want them to think in their mind. You said, here's how we acquire customers inside of our team. You want them to go, oh, that looks simple. I think it'll work. And I think I could do it. And it's so basic that even if they're afraid, generally, this doesn't give them fear. They don't have to have any skill to do it. And if you bake this into your culture, everybody knows it, everybody does it, and it works, okay? So that's the fundamentals of what you want the system to be over here. Here's what you want them to think. Here's what you want them to do, right? Here's the results. And here's the cornerstone. It's got to be skill proof and fear proof. So customer acquisition. Customer onboarding. Customer retention. Three systems for customers? Yes. What do you do to get one? What do you do to make sure that they have a good experience? And what do you do to make sure that you keep them? Okay? That's just on customers. Now, for distributors, the same three. Distributor acquisition, distributor onboarding, and distributor retention. What do you do to recruit? What do you do to get them started? And what do you do to keep them? All 6 of these are actually 6, I just put it in 4. My handwriting's so terrible anyway. Next, core rank. If there's any one, I mean, this is one of the key performance indicators inside of network marketing, is the core rank. If I'm working with a company, guess what my number one priority is? Increase core rank. And we're going to talk more about core rank. Increase the numbers, increase the campaigns, just going hard with core rank. We'll talk about more about it, but just put a little star next to that. You want to radically improve your organization in the next 12 months, focus on that, and then worry about everything else. Number 6, skills. What is your system for a person to become skilled? 7, these are not necessarily in any order. Personal development. What is your system to bake personal development into your organization? What is your system to do that? Yeah, the handwriting's bad, I know, it's terrible. Personal development. So to hear what I'm saying and write it down before it disappears. 8, event attendance. Now, right now we're in an online world, but we will soon not be in an online world. Getting people to attend your events, online or offline, is an absolute fundamental system that you need to have for that. You've got to have a system around getting more people to attend events. I ran out of room, I'll go over here. 9, communication. What is your system to communicate with your organization? Not just with your good soldiers, not just with your top leaders, but what's your system for communicating to everybody in your organization? 10, what is your recognition system outside of what the company does? How are you recognizing people inside of your organization? And then leadership. What is your system for identifying and developing leaders within your organization? So these are some, you know, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, at least 13 systems that need to be in place. Now, every business is a system. If you have a solid system, you're going to have better results. Now, a lot of people want the company to do this. And guess what? Companies don't do this very well. Guess what companies do well? Creating product, taking care of customer service, shipping product, paying commissions, dealing with regulatory issues, dealing with compliance issues. They do pretty good for that. And they're pretty bad at field systems. This is almost always created and developed and tweaked and tuned by the field. Matter of fact, working with companies to put these systems together is a freaking headache. I have companies that are like, oh, will you help me do it? And then they just will not let me do what I need to do. It's just annoying. It's like, oh man, I'd love to help you, but you just don't think how we think. You just don't. Love you. Then your company might be, Jeannie says, my company is great at events. They might be great at events, but are they great at promoting events? Are they great at getting people to attend events? Are they great at getting people to register for events? A different type of conversation. The experience is one thing. Getting people butts in seats is a completely different thing. That's driven by leaders. Completely different thing. Whitney's laughing at me. Or with me, maybe. With me. I'll just assume it's with me. So, this fundamental framework is what we're building on, okay? This is a long-term project, and we're going to get into it in a bit. With me, Whitney says. Good. Now we want to talk about campaigns. To buy time. This has got to be a priority. Every one of you needs to take at least 10% of your time needs to be devoted to this as a leader. At least 10% of your time needs to be devoted to developing world-class systems. Because if you get it right, people will join your team just for the systems. Just for the systems. Just, oh God, please don't make me have to create it all. Oh, there's a system in your group? You have a system for that? Oh, please, I just want to plug in. I don't want to have to create all the time. Okay? At least 10% needs to be spent developing these systems. This is your calling card. This is like, join us and you get this. And our product and our everything else. Join us and you get this. Okay, let's talk about campaigns. Give me a fresh page, please. It's good stuff? I hope it's good stuff. I'm enjoying it. Andrea asked, how do you deal with the ones on the team who do not follow systems or show up to training, but yet harass you for your time to hold their hand? I will teach you about problem children soon. But guess what leaders do? What did William Wallace have to deal with? He had to deal with all the lords and all the different people fighting behind him, stabbing him in the back. He had to deal with all the different factions. He had to deal with all the different nonsense. I talked to my friend Lou Holtz. He's a top football coach. We were sitting having dinner, and I said, so what was it like? I mean, it must have been easy when you were coaching Notre Dame. It must have been exciting to be able to have an organization that had your back and it supported you so strong. He got so mad. He said, you think they supported me? You think those administrators were supporting me and trying to build a football team? I had to fight them every minute of every day. They didn't let me recruit Randy Moss onto our football team because he got a C in one class. One of the best athletes to ever play the game, and they wouldn't let me recruit the guy. They were fighting me I did what I did in spite of that, not because of it. So how do you deal with it when people don't follow the system? Well, if you haven't built a system good enough to follow, then maybe you need to tweak it. Or sometimes people are they got their ego in the way, and you have to learn how to manage that, just like William Wallace in Braveheart had to learn how to manage the lords and the ladies, all the people trying to work behind his back and play politics. There's always going to be people trying to play politics. You've got to outperform and be better, right? So, anyway, I will go off of that tangent and back onto campaigns. So campaigns. How many of you have children? If you have children, here's one thing you know about your children. Let's say you bought them this was a toy. And you're like, oh, look, here's this toy. And they go, oh, this is so great. And they go color with the toy, and they play with the toy, and they make believe with the toy, and they do all these different kinds of toy. And at some point, they're done with this toy. And you go, oh, and then let's say they're cranky, they're in a bad mood. And you're like, oh, look, here's the toy. And they're like, I'm over that toy. I'm tired of it. I'm sick and tired of your stupid toy. I hate that toy. I think the toy is dumb. Then occasionally, you need to bring out a new toy. You go, oh, look at this one. Where do you want me to go? Huh? Over here? Okay. Look, here's a new toy. And they go, oh, and they get all excited. Right? You ever notice that? And then they get sick of that one, then you got to bring out another toy. Oh, here's the paper monster. Ooh, look at the paper monster. Oh, paper monster. Hey, let's do that. Right? So what you need to do inside of network marketing is campaigns are something to distract people. Our goal is to do what? Get people to take more action than they would have taken. That's our goal. We're trying to buy time for systems to be developed. We're trying to buy time for people to become skilled. And we're trying to buy time for people to become leaders. But in the meantime, guess what you're looking for? And I want to back up 1 second. I want to talk to you about one thing. What you're looking for is to create a campaign that will cause somebody to take action before they use a system. Get them to take action before they become skilled. Get them to take action before they become a leader. And get them some results. That's what we're trying to do. Help them get some results. So what you're looking for, mostly, when I'm looking at a team, let's say you've got 10 people on the team, 100 people on the team, 1,000 people on the team, doesn't matter. I'm looking for three things. That they're willing, that they're coachable, and that they're hungry. Those are the three things I'm looking for. Willing, you're willing to do it. You're willing to try. You're willing to face your fears. You're willing to, are you coachable? Will you listen? Will you listen? And that they're hungry. They want more. That's all I care about, is those three things. I don't care if they have context. I don't care if they're scared to death. I don't care if they're insecure. I don't care if they're quiet as a mouse. If they're willing, they're coachable, and they're hungry, that's all I need. Now, here's the trick. Everyone will say that they're willing, coachable, and hungry. And they're not. Everybody say, no, me. Who's willing? Me. Who's coachable? Me. Who's hungry? Oh, you got to be hungry. Everyone will say that. And they lie. That's not true. Guess how you find out? Guess how you find out? Assignments. Assignments. You give people assignments and you find out if they're willing, coachable, and hungry. Now here's one thing that will trick you, is some people they're trying to speak it into existence. So they're saying, yes, me. I have big goals. You can retire because of the productivity that I'm going to be bringing to your team. I'm going straight to the top. Give me the hard stuff. Come on, bring it, right? So you go, oh, okay. So you give them an assignment that meets their speech. But here's the truth. The truth is they're scared out of their minds. The truth is they're insecure. The truth is they talk bigger than their feet are willing to walk, right? So how do you know that that's the case? You know that's the case because you gave an assignment and they don't do it. And they'll tell you, oh, I got busy, I procrastinated, I didn't totally understand. Here's all you need to know. If they didn't do it, they either didn't understand it or they're too afraid to do it. So what you need to do as a leader is you need to understand and have compassion and encourage the big talk. Fine, talk big. And also have compassion enough to see if they don't take action, what do you need to do as a leader? Oh, you're a big talker, walk away? Or do you give them the same assignment over and over? Come on, do it now, do it now, do it now, do it now. Do you do that? Most of you have tried to do that. How's that working out for you? Or you can turn the assignment down and say, I know this is super simple for you because you're going to do great things. But just why don't you try this step? Let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, you gave them an 8 to go do the 8 thing. And they didn't do it. All right, let's try a 6. They didn't do that. All right, let's try a 4. They didn't do that. All right, let's try a 2. They didn't do that. All right, it's okay. Let's try a 1. Then they do the 1. You go, congratulations, well done. I know that was simple for you. I know that was totally baby steps, but good job on the 1. You ready to go for 2? All right. And then you give them the 2. And then they do that. And they say, oh, this stuff's easy. And then you forget for a second that they're taking baby steps and you give them a 6. And then they don't do the 6. And what do you got to do? Come down to a 4. They do the 1, they do the 2, they don't do the 6, they do the 4. You do the 6 again? Nope. You say, well, try a 5. Just a little bit more than the 4. Oh, okay, I'll do that. And eventually you inch them up, 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 up. If they're willing, coachable, and hungry, you use assignments to help them work through their fears. You understand what I'm saying? Start with what they're projecting to you, and if they do the 8 right out of the gate, take it to a 9. But encourage them in the entire way. Encourage them, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Well done. Unbelievable. Okay, it's okay, it's okay. Fantastic. It's all right, it's all right. Spectacular. You got the 6 done, dude. Unbelievable. You're a superstar for sure. You're going all the way to the top. Up, 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 up. But here's what you got to resist the urge to go, oh my God, will you just shut up with all this big talk and you're not willing to do anything? I keep giving you assignments. You keep saying no. You keep saying no, I'm not interested. Keep saying you're too busy. And you just walk away from these people. You just need to develop them, right? This is the development process. You need this as a foundation. If they're not willing, coachable, and hungry, you can't work with them. But if you do this, you're home free. And you just want to turn up the thermostat, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. And you're trying to take people from dependence here to independence. That's the goal, to take them from dependence to independence. How do we do that? Through assignments. How do we do that? By calibrating the assignments based upon their action, and we take them from dependence to a process called tell, show, try, do. I learned this 30 years ago and it still works today. Tell, show, try, do. You go show them how to do this. They're not willing to do it. You're telling them, whatever the thing is. You're going to tell them to do it. Then you're going to show them how to do it. You watch. Let me show you. Let me show you how we recruit a distributor, how we do a presentation. Let me show you. You provide the person. I'll do the presentation. You watch. Just listen. Introduce us. You watch. I'll do it. Then you try. Eventually, you try. I'll watch. I'll be there to support you. And then you're doing it. The goal is to get here. And it's not just a straight line. You can't just, okay, let me tell you how to get a customer. Let me show you how to get a customer. You try it. All right, you're doing it. Bye. Doesn't work that way. I wish it did. You got to tell them and tell them and tell them and tell them. Then you got to show them and show them and show them and then tell them again. And then show them and then tell them and then show them and then tell them. And then say, okay, you try it. Then back to tell them. Then back to show them, then you try it again, then back to tell them, and eventually you do it without me, then all the way back to tell them again, and it's annoying to kick them out of the nest, but this is, baby to flying, dependence to independence. We're doing this through everything that we do is built around assignments, built around these three fundamentals, built around calibrating based upon their action, and being willing to mentor. Being willing to mentor. This is a mentoring process. This is a mentoring process. And you need to let people know that your highest value is these three things. If you're willing to express these three attributes, then you're going to get support. Then you're going to get you're going to get support, and I'm going to be with you. Some people are going to go there fast. Some people are going to go there slow, but everybody's going to get there. Okay? If you have these three things, no one can stop you. Here's the thing that excited me about network marketing, and what you need to be telling people is, once you make a decision, if you have this as a foundation, nothing can stop you. It's just a matter of time. Nothing can stop you. Can you scroll up just a little bit to Andrea's question real quick? When do you, I lost it. When do you draw a line, or how do you ensure your time is spent as an investment and not sabotaging your own business activity? It doesn't take me long, Andrea, great question. Doesn't take me long to give another assignment. So I give them an 8, they don't do the 8. I give them a 6, they don't do the 6. How long did that take me? 2 minutes to give them an assignment? I finally give them an assignment that they do, I recognize that, and then I start escalating. I start having them push their boundaries a little bit, and I start moving them back up. Assignments are easy. The assignment might be as simple as, I want you to take our product every day for the next 7 days. Are you in or are you out? Every day, and I want you to document the process. I want you to tell me how you feel, and after 7 days, I want you to let me know, what was the experience like? How long does it take? A minute? 2 minutes? 3 minutes? And if you're working with somebody to develop with this, said, can we get an assignment example? That's an assignment example. Take the product, read 10 pages of a good book, watch this Zoom call. I want you to watch this video and tell me what you like best about it. See what I mean? So I'm going to give you lots and lots of examples on this. But dependence to independence, willing, coachable, and hungry, and assignments are the key. Now, for the rest of this whole session today, and this is flying by, I'm going to be giving you 30 or 40 different campaign ideas, 30 or 40 different campaign ideas over the course of the next hour that you can use to give assignments to your team to create more activity than you would have had you not used this campaign idea and assignment, okay? So I'm gonna give you a whole arsenal of assignments that you can provide to people in the form of campaigns. And these are all things that you can do with or without systems being in place, okay? So we're gonna take a break, and during the break, like I said, rather than just have an empty countdown clock, we have people who are telling you about the value of the Next Level Mastermind group. If you're a six-figure earner and above and you're not in the Next Level Mastermind, I think you're throwing money away. It's the most powerful group in the world, and we'll tell you more about Beyond Leadership later. But take a 7-minute break. We'll be back in 7 minutes. Let you go to the bathroom, and I'll be back in just a bit.
If I give you $1 and you give me $1, we each have $1. But if I give you an idea and you give me an idea, we each have $2. Now take a room of over 60 people where the average earner is somewhere near $1 million a year, sharing their best practices and how they've overcome the challenges that everybody experiences. That is the value of the mastermind. Eric works with the best of the best. He brings them together. He creates an environment where people feel really free to share, and it's taken my business to the next level. And whatever challenge comes up, we know that there are people that have dealt with this successfully and found ways to build through every type of season. So here's my advice to you. Join the mastermind now. Take advantage of it. Build your business, and let's get you on stage as $1 million earner.
Hi, my name is Haley Hobson, and to be honest, I actually had to think for a split second about whether I wanted to partake in this mastermind because, you know, as leaders in our companies, we are busy, we're traveling, we're all over the place. And I was like, oh my gosh, one more thing that I have to add to my plate. I am so glad that I did this. It's not just the information that's coming in. It's not just being here and being in front of Eric. It's actually, my favorite part is the collaboration of all the other top leaders who are here. We have brilliant minds in this room, and it's the relationships and it's the friendships that develop. I notice that when people are doing their own thing and they're moving at their own pace all by themselves, this can be a lonely world. This can be a lonely business, and people get stagnant and they get stale, and sometimes they even get depressed. They think that they're not moving forward and they get stuck. They don't know how to break through the next barrier. So what happens here is you work with others and you're sharing your best tips and you're learning so many golden nuggets, and you also have this. You have the heart that's in the business.
Hey everyone, Diane Solano here. New kid on the block here, 6-figure income earner, but I want to get to 7 figures. That's my truth. How am I going to do that? Learning through other people, other networkers. This room is where you have to be at. It is worth the time. It is worth the investment because you'll be able to leverage yourself like no one else. That I promise you. So get yourself here because it will change your business so quick, so fast. Your brain will be stretched. Your vision will be amplified. And with Eric Worre, you will just be at the top of the very top. So come on here. I expect to see you at the Next Level Mastermind. Let's make this industry phenomenal and rock it on.
Hey guys, this is Bruce Hughes. We're here in Vegas at Marina and Eric Worre's house doing Next Level Mastermind. It has been a phenomenal 2 days. We get to be part of a Facebook page where we're literally plugging into some of the top influencers, top minds in this profession right now. Now, these are the people who are shaping the next generation. They're shaping the next moves in this profession. And we get to be in a room together and troubleshoot what that looks like. Now, if you're thinking about coming and plugging in, if you're wondering if it's an expense that you need to take, it's not an expense, it's an investment. I'm literally getting cramp in my hand every single day because of the notes I'm taking, and it's not notes that I can apply immediately. I mean, there's a ton that is, but it's also notes that's future-proofing our businesses. It's future-proofing it for the changes we're seeing in social media, the changes we're seeing in social marketing, network marketing, affiliate marketing, and we're shaping those changes because of the minds, the people, and the caliber in the room. You need to be in this room.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Danian coming to you live here from Eric Worre's house in Las Vegas. We're at the Next Level Mastermind right now, and I can just tell you guys, it's been blowing my mind for the last 48 hours. I've been taking more notes the last 2 days that I remember being taken in the last 2 years, and I'm not even exaggerating. The amount of content and density and advanced leadership training, it's insane. And it's not just Eric providing the most incredible content, but it's also the type of people that we surround ourselves with. Like, you look around and there are 6 and 7 figures all over the place. People with experience, people that the proximity in itself is going to be the power for you to advance in your business. So if you're thinking about making the investment, joining the Next Level Mastermind group, I can just tell you, do it. Because if it was just for the 2-day trainings, I'd be doing it. But on top of that, there's a weekly mastermind call with nuggets, with the newest, best practices, with understanding. And it's really a group that is changing network marketing and the face of the profession and the industry. And I'm so proud to be a part of it. And I can't wait to meet you two in the Next Level Mastermind.
And we're back. So I hope you're getting notes. I hope you're getting value. I've given you quite a bit of philosophical framework here, and I think it's important to get your thinking right, get your responsibility right. How do you help people to create more action, go from dependence to independence? How do you use assignments in order to be able to do that? And then the 4 big pillars. When I'm consulting with companies, and I do both, and most of that's private and confidential, but I consult with companies on campaigns, incentives, contests, all those types of things, leading to systems, which take a little bit more time, leading to skill development, leading to leadership development. This gets you big results fast, and campaigns and challenges. And these are just, have you ever noticed, it's probably true for you, and for those of you who just joined Next Level Mastermind, I've seen Angel just joined. Yeah, Angel, we just haven't had a chance to talk. You and Ryan it's criminal. You guys haven't been a part of this incredible group. But for anybody who's eligible, I'm happy to have you in this group, and it's just really special to be sharing. We share this type of information and ideas every single week. It's super cool. But back to challenges. Have you ever noticed that if there's a contest, even you will do things you normally wouldn't do? It's like, you're fine, you're making plenty of money, you're doing fine. But then they say, well, there's this trip contest. And you're like, well, I have to go on the trip. So you do something that you normally wouldn't have done. The challenge itself created action in you that normally wouldn't have been there. You recruit when you wouldn't have recruited. For everybody, we're all wired this way. And sometimes, for me, I'm driven around this. Really driven around short-term bursts. I'm wired that way. Some people, I will tell you, they're really good at daily activity. They're really good at being disciplined every day. Every day, I'm going to do this. I'm going to talk to 2 people a day. I'm going to recruit 10 people a month, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. They're structured and they're scheduled. That is not me. I get bored really easy. My attention span is very, very small. So you need to give me a little competition. And I'm competitively wired. I want to win. If I feel like I can win, I want to win. So, and I want other people to win. So number 1, I'll do it for myself, but number 2, I'll use whatever the competition is to get better behavior out of people in my organization. If I got 2 people joining my group, first of all, I'm going to find out some people are not wired for competition. If you ask them to compete, they'll actually run the other way. Other people are like, and I'll find out really fast. I bring in John and I bring in Mary. And Mary goes and signs up 3 customers. I'm going to go to John and say, guess what? Mary already recruited 3 customers. Isn't that unbelievable? And John goes, well, I can do that. And so, really? I don't know. Mary's pretty strong. He goes, oh, really? And John goes and brings in 4. And then I go back to Mary and said, guess what? John just passed you up. He thinks he's better because he's a man. And Mary goes, oh yeah? I'm going to go recruit 10 people. Then I go back and says, guess what? Mary said she's going to go recruit 10 people this month. And John goes, well, not faster than me. And I will use that. I will use these tools all day long, every day, constantly. And if somebody uses it on me, even though I know they're using it on me, it still works. If there's a cruise, I'm going on the cruise. If there's a leaderboard or somebody's going on stage or there's a trophy that I can get on stage at the company event, I'm getting the trophy. I have to get the trophy. So, contests, incentives, promotions, short bursts, limited time only. These types of things work really, really well. So I'm going to give you a list of a lot of different campaigns and challenges that you take the idea and then customize it to you. And I would encourage you to find a time during this year to try every single one of these at some point. Now, number one, product use challenge. A product use challenge. Let's say you have 10 different products. You can do a product use challenge with a new product launch. Let's say there's a new product. You can go to your team and say, we are doing the 7-day ABC product challenge. Everybody on the team is going to use this challenge, or is going to engage in this challenge, and here's the challenge. The challenge is you have to use this product for 7 straight days. You have to document the process, and then you have to create a video of what the product did for you and put it on Facebook in 7 days. And whoever does that is going to be put on a leaderboard, and we're going to rate the videos. We're going to give prizes for the people who do the best videos at the end of the 7 days. And everybody that does it's going to get put into a drawing that gets some ABC award. Who's in? So this is a great challenge if you're launching a new product. It's a great challenge if you maybe have an obscure product that doesn't get a lot of love. Maybe you take that obscure product and that gets the challenge for 7 days. See what I mean? All this will do is build emotional attachment to your product and use the results and the documentation of this product to get results and cause people to take more action, okay? So think about how you could use that, and you don't have to do a contest, you don't have to do a drawing, these are just extra little ideas. And you don't have to do it 7 days, it could be 3 days, it could be a 30-day thing, it could be, if it's weight loss, maybe you do a weight loss challenge, okay? But I would like this first challenge, and we'll talk about the weight loss, put that one aside for a second. The first one is product use, okay? Getting people to, the ultimate result of this is multiple. One is you're going to create a more emotional connection to the product with the people on your team. 2, documenting the results of this is going to be an incredible promotional tool for your organization. When all these videos are out there, you put them in all your ad tag message groups, and everybody's freaking out over all these testimonials of these products. Make sure they're compliant, right? 3, people are wanting to make this experience amazing, so they make their video amazing or their live amazing. See what I mean? And it just keeps rippling and rippling. And 4, you get a product that wasn't getting any love. Now all of a sudden, your average monthly auto ship goes up a little bit. Maybe it's at $80 and it goes to $85. Because now people are taking the product that isn't in there, you're the one getting all the love. Okay? So that's 1, product use. And I've got a lot of them, so I'm gonna have to go fast, okay? 2 is product results. Product results. So if it's weight loss, if it's, do a challenge around the result of your product. If it's legal insurance, have a challenge that talks about the legal, the result of that legal thing, and put all those results in one place and have a contest to see who has the best results and all these different kinds of things. Product use or product result is going to help you, and it could be a 1-day thing, it could be 3 days, it could be 7 days, it could be 14 days. Normally, the shorter the better. With longer ones, here's what ends up happening. If you do a 90-day one, you're going to have a lot of people say yes and very few people finish. Okay? The good soldiers will finish. If you do 30 days, you're going to have a lot of people say yes and more will finish, but a lot of them won't last 30 days. What works really, really well for these things is 7, 3, 14, 10, 5. Pick a number that works with you and then pound this, okay? Pound this. Product result or product use. And what's good about this is if you got, weekend promos, whatever, is let's say you have, you're in the essential oil business and you have 100 different oils. Well, you could do a different promo every single month for a different oil. Could you not? A 3-day promo, get the results, hit it. If you got 15 different, let's say you have 12 different products, you could do one every month. And people will be excited about it. People will enjoy competing. People will have fun with it. All right. Next is customer related. Customer related. It could be, and you can go multiple ways with this. You could have a promo that's just for your customers. In other words, if they refer 3 friends, they get a free product. But it's only available for the next 3 days. If you refer 3 friends in 3 days, then you get this thing. You get this free deal, you get this free thing, you get this Starbucks card, you get whatever. So you can design it around the customer itself, and you can have a customer leaderboard if you want it. And you can rank and recognize the top 10 customer referring people. Or you can have a product result competition just for customers. Or you can have a product testimonial competition just for customers, not for your team members. Okay? So think about it from that point of view. The other side of the customer one is a promotion about gathering customers. So you could do 7 customers in 7-day challenge. Here's the seven customer challenge. 7 customers in 7 days. Here's all the tools to do it. We're going to have a leaderboard. Everybody that gets at least 7 is going to be put into a drawing for this. They're all going to get a certificate of achievement. Certificates are easy. There's something that you could print out, you could sign, you could send to your company and have the CEO of the company sign these certificates and send them out to every single person that does 7 customers in 7 days. Okay? So certificates are free and easy. They don't cost you much. Everybody who does 7, not only can they get a certificate, but they can get put into a drawing and you can go to your company and ask them for stuff. You don't have to pay for most of this. Go to your company and say, will you give me some swag? Will you give me some t-shirts? They got a bunch sitting in their warehouse that they haven't sold. Trust me. Will you give me some hats? Will you give me a tote bag? Can you load me up with a bunch of stuff that I can give to people who get 7 customers in 7 days? That's a side note, by the way. Ask your company for stuff. Ask them for pre-product, ask them for swag, ask them for convention tickets, ask them for free hotel at your next company convention when you can get together with hotel. Ask them for airfare, ask them for everything. Ask them for a Zoom call with the CEO for the top earner to get coached. You see what I'm saying? The company will load you up. And you got a big stack of stuff. And now you're standing with a big stack of stuff and say, I got this big stack of stuff, and I'm going to give it to all the people. The first person who does 7 in 7 is going to get their first choice. Here's the list of stuff you can get. Whoever gets the 7 first, ready, set, go. They get the 7, they get to pick the stuff. Or I saw another great thing in the Next Level Mastermind. They had a board with I don't know what it was, 50 different numbers on the board, and they got to pick a number, and whatever was behind the number was the prize that they got. And they did it on a Facebook Live. They pulled it off. Okay, you pick number 7. Okay, you pick number 7. You get a free convention ticket. You get $100 credit on product. You get, this sweatsuit with a company logo. Little tiny stuff, okay? So, and then you can have a drawing you have the drawing for that. Everybody gets a certificate. Everybody gets a prize, right? It can even be small prizes, Starbucks cards, whatever, simple little stuff. They can be put on a leaderboard. They can go inside the company website, or they can go. You could publish the leaderboard of everybody who did it. But then on top of that, for the super aggressive people, is have the top 10 or something like that. If you get into the top 10, whoever does the most, here's what the top 10 get. Okay? So this is an example of what you can do for customers specifically, prizes and rewards for them, and for gathering customers. 3 customers in 3 days, 7 customers in 7 days. Play with it. Because here's the thing, I gotta tell you, kids get bored, right? So if you do 7 customers in 7 days this month and you try and do 7 customers in 7 days next month, they go, no, I heard about that one. Next month you need to be, it's International Recruit 3 Distributors in 1 Day. You know, we're taking August 8th and everybody's gonna recruit 3 customers in that day. You just gotta shake it up, move it around. All right, next, is this good stuff? I love this stuff. What I'm saying with you here is creativity around the fundamentals. Because all of these things are going to help you as you're developing systems. You're going to actually find some of the things that are going to end up in your long-term systems in these campaigns. You'll find them, that they're repeatable. All right. Next is recruiting. Recruiting challenges. Recruiting contests. It could be recruit one person day. We're going to pick a day, and every single person on the team is going to wake up, and they are not going to sleep until they recruit one person. And what are all the rewards for that? What are all the competitions for that? What are all the incentives for that? It could be 3 and 3. It could be 5 and 5. It could be a 20 and 30. You could do a 20 and 30, a whole campaign around 20 and 30. So, and like I say, play with it. It could be a 7-day challenge designed around doing one particular activity in order to be able to create a specific recruiting result. Now play with the different rewards that you get from recruiting. Next is any activity. Now, there's a great benefit in doing campaigns and challenges that are not result-driven, but they are activity-driven. Because the activity will create the result. We're trying to generate activity in order to be able to get more results, right? But if you say, you have to get 3 customers to be part of this, that might be one thing. But if you say, 7 Zooms, you're going to host 7 Zoom calls in 7 days with at least 20 people on the Zoom to get into a competition. Or you're going to do a Facebook Live every day talking about a different benefit or a different thing that you love about your company, about network marketing. It could be around a product, it could be around Zoom calls, it could be around having people watch a video. It could be making a list. It could be reaching out and starting a conversation. You could do a 100 conversation challenge. Here's the challenge. You have to start a conversation with 100 prospects. And that's the challenge. So any activity that's been proven to get results or will move people forward in their activity to take more action, any activity that will help them realize this isn't so scary, it can be fun. What you get in motion tends to stay in motion. So make a list of the activities that you could reward with the swag pile that you got from your company, or with company stuff, or with things that you could send out, or, you know, and there's lots of rewards that you can create that the company doesn't need to. You could do a 4-week Zoom training call just for people who complete this challenge. A 4-week Zoom training series. Come up with a really sexy title. And only the people who get to go in there. It doesn't matter what rank you are. If you didn't do this challenge, you don't get to get in there. Sorry. So lots of different things you can do in terms of rewards. Tools. If you have a tool that's working for you, if it's a physical tool or a printed or a video tool, if it's a webinar, if it's an ATM group, whatever you want to use down that rewarding, like one of the campaigns that I did that became a long-term part of the system, this was back in the day, it's different now, but it's back in the day of audio cassettes and video cassettes. We had a system called 2 a day. And we had a campaign to start the system, and then we had the system. So the campaign to start the system was, it was more cost effective with audio cassettes. We teach people to get 100 audio cassettes that would explain the opportunity. They'd get 100, it cost them $35 to get 100 of them. They'd put their phone number on the audio cassette, and their assignment was to pass out 100 audio cassettes to 100 people in the first 7 days. And then after that, the system was 2 a day, 2 a day, 2 a day, 2 a day, 2 a day. So the campaign was 100 prospects getting that tool in 7 days, and then the system was 2 a day, 2 a day, 2 a day. But think about what you could do. Any tool you have, any video, right now it's send a link. Maybe it's teaching people how to send a link to 100 people in 7 days. Figure out how to hold that accountable, figure out how to reward that behavior. Maybe you do it on the honor system, maybe you don't, maybe you come up with an accountability program in order to be able to prove that happened, whatever it happens to be. But tools are effective. Calendar. Next is calendar. Here's what I mean by calendar. We live in a cyclical business, right? What are the times of the year that your business slows down? It's different for different people. Some people slow down in November, December. Other people, it's their biggest months of the year, depending on your product and how giftable it is and how seasonal it is. But in either case, during the holidays, it works extremely well. Like right now, every one of you on our next level mastermind call, we're actually talking about holiday campaigns and strategies to prepare for now. You need to prepare for Black Friday. You need to prepare for Thanksgiving. You need to prepare for gift giving. You need to prepare for 12 days of Christmas. You need to prepare for New Year's. But could you come up with a campaign to kick off the year strong? Any one of these. You'll get more results if you do. Can you come up with a campaign to keep people focused in the month of December? Can you come up with a campaign to take advantage of Cyber Monday and Black Friday? Can you come up with a campaign for the summer months? Can you come up with a campaign for back to school? Can you come up with a campaign for every holiday you can think of? Is it giftable during Valentine's Day? Is it giftable during Father's Day or Mother's Day? Any of your products or services? Is it giftable at all? How can you tie that so people think about it? So look at the calendar and say, okay, I need a campaign to kick off the year. I need a campaign the week after my company convention. I need a campaign to go to my company convention. I need an incentive to go into this particular season. Every year, everybody loses focus. So whatever it is, Christmas in July, stay-at-home COVID campaign, whatever the campaign is, think about the calendar and what you can do in order to be able to maximize the calendar with any one of these campaigns or challenges. But you got to get ahead of it. You can't, sometimes you could just pull it out of your back pocket and say, I'm doing it now. Other times you need to plan because, like, I'll give you an example. For Black Friday or Cyber Monday, you probably need to work with your company and say, here's what would be great, and start planning that with them now. Because you can't spring that on them with, a 1 week notice. And sometimes you need their support. Sometimes it's better if the company gets behind it, offers free shipping or does something in order to be able to help with the campaign, okay? So they're waiting for good ideas from you, but you need to let them know. Now, a bunch of people are saying Christmas in July has worked so well this month. And here's what I'm telling you, anything will work. You understand? Anything. Guess what doesn't work? Same old shit. Just another month, same old shit. That doesn't work. Everybody's going to go to the beach. But if you give them a reason, they'll do it. That's what these campaigns are all about. Okay, next, rank. Campaigns around rank. Any campaign around a rank. You can do a campaign around your core rank, and we're going to talk more about core rank tomorrow. So just put that in your notes. Around top ranks, sometimes it's a campaign. Let's all push this guy or this woman to this next level. Let's all get behind it. Let's help them make it happen this month. They need one more month to qualify this thing in order to be able to get this thing. Let's help them make it happen. See what I mean? So it could be around core. It could be around that very first rank that you maybe that's not your core rank. It could be around, pick whatever it is, but you can come up with a campaign around any of those. So let's say you've got, show me the board here again. Let's say you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ranks inside the organization. You can do a campaign around that rank. Let's get everybody from, distributor to that rank, and we're gonna see how many people we can get there in the next 7 days. And we're gonna celebrate the people who got there and their sponsor. Let's make it happen. But then if you wanna do one for this, all you gotta do is find out in your organization how many people are at level 1 and say, let's create a competition for those people to go to level 2. And if you want to do one for this, all you got to do is say, how many people are level 4? Let's figure out a way for them to get to level 5. So, and with these different campaigns, think about where you're going to do them, how you're going to do them. Sometimes you could do a big grand poobah campaign to see how many you're going to get there. But all of these different campaign structures can be done at different times. Some are longer, some are shorter. Some are more mass, some are more selective. Like I can do a campaign, let's say I take all the people that are level 5, okay? And let's say I have 27 of them. How can I help those people take more action to get to level 6? You know how I do it? Here's how I do it. I create a contest. The first five people at this level that get here is going to get some prize. They're going to get some recognition. They're going to get some incentive. They're going to get some special perk. They're going to get some special connection to the company. They're going to get a signed photo with, ABC, whatever it happens to be. So I got 27 people. Do you think those 27 people are going to take more action if I do something like this or less? More or less? More, for sure. They're going to do more. Why? Because I created a contest. I created an incentive. I created something for them to shoot for. So lots of ways you can go at rank. You can go mass, you can go selective, you can do private little competitions, you can do lots of different ways to be able to make that happen. What are we trying to do? We're trying to create an action that isn't already created. Trying to create more action than would have been there if we hadn't made it happen. All right, I covered activity twice, so forget the activity. Next is about occupation. Occupation. Could you create a campaign around healthcare workers? Yes or no? The answer is yes. One for healthcare workers as prospects for your product. Another for healthcare workers as prospects for your opportunity. Let's say you took nurses, pick nurses out of the bag as something you need to do for, or let's pick another one, stay-at-home moms. Or let's even get more selective. Stay-at-home single moms. Or forget stay-at-home, single moms. Because I think single moms are awesome. What if you did a campaign aimed at helping single moms? Helping single moms see an opportunity to create more freedom for themselves and for their kids. And it was talking to single moms and all the Zooms were focused on single moms. And it was single moms talking about sharing their stories as to how they went from being scared to being free. And all you did, you had a 7-day focus on single moms, and you told everybody in the team, I want you to think of any single mom that you know, and I want you to have them plug in and listen to these stories. Are you going to get more results in that week or less? Answer's more, for sure. If you did one for police officers, do you think police officers need a little love? Are some of them looking for a career change? Possible. What if you did a campaign just around police officers? What if you did a campaign just around teachers? What if you did a campaign just aimed at small business owners that are struggling? What if you did a campaign aimed at people who've hit the glass ceiling? Whatever it happens to be. Pick it. Plumbers, chiropractors, personal trainers. Doesn't matter what it is. You can do a 3-day campaign, 5-day campaign, 7-day campaign. You can create an ad tag message group just for personal trainers inside of your company. And you're going to get better results than if it's just a general group. So, and Andrea says, money objection, get that a lot with my single moms. Have the single moms that overcame the money objection address it in your campaign. Deal with it. Show them that staying in their situation is worse than figuring out a way to do it. So, how many professions are there? How many campaigns can you do around those professions? One different profession a month, one different profession every couple weeks. 2 weeks from now, we're going to start the campaign for accountants. And all we're going to do is invite every accountant into this campaign and have them check it out. Occupation. Incentive trips. Campaigns or challenges around incentive trips. Now, these can be company incentive trips or your incentive trip. You could rent a house, a fancy house somewhere, and invite people to that house. And again, I understand social distancing and everything else, but when you're able to do this, this works extremely well. Don't just count on your company's incentive trips. Count on the White Army campaign. Boy, that'd be an interesting campaign, Mohammed. Count on, don't just count on the company doing an incentive trip. Think about an incentive trip you could do. It could be a little whitewater rafting trip. It could be a fishing trip. It could be a skiing trip. It could be a go to a lake house trip. It could be any different kind of thing for people who achieve something, but use it in order to be able to attract different types of activity and create more people to move into that activity. Incentive trips. Convention. I've done so many campaigns into convention you can't imagine. Conventions are amazing, and when they happen again face-to-face, this is something that should be in your arsenal. For sure, spa trips, great. For sure, should be in 2021. But when that company incentive trip, I'll give you a handful of the different campaigns that I've used during that. One was a campaign that we were going to show up and represent our team. We're going to be wearing our own t-shirts. We got our own noisemakers. We all got armbands, and we're all going to show up, and we're going to just absolutely go crazy who's with us. So people love that. They love being part of that group, coming in and making a big spectacle. Another thing I would do is I would hold like a special welcome reception or a reception sometime during the event, and I would get the fanciest room, the presidential suite. I would invite the corporate executives to attend and the top earners to attend, and you had to earn your way into that room. You had to earn your way into that special reception. You couldn't just come if you came to the event. You had to recruit 10 people, or you had to get to X rank, or you had to qualify again, or you had to do something in order to be able to earn your way into that rank, into that room. So I would have private events. I would have different lunches. You can have lunches with the top leaders or myself or whatever if you earned this or did this or this. So time and proximity was I used it to create more activity. Whoever brought more people, whoever did more activity, whoever got to a rank, whoever brought X number, whatever it happened to be, in order to be able to maximize the event. So I would make them earn it, okay? And then I would also, I would use incentives to get there. I would use incentives while I was there. Anybody who gets tickets to the next event can come to our after party. Anybody who buys 10 tickets to the next event can come to the training that we're going to do the morning after the event is over. Okay? Anybody who buys at least $100 of the company's new launched products is going to have access to this special thing. So I would do contest incentives leading up to it, contest incentives during it, and then contest incentives immediately following. What can I do to get people to take action when they get home? Because if you don't do a contest right after an event, a lot of people go home and you lose 2 weeks of productivity. How do you get them to take action as soon as they get home? You have to think of that before it happens. So people get it right back into productivity versus going and licking their wounds and taking the time off and lowering their activity. Your job is to increase the activity. Okay? All right. I'm only halfway through. Oh my Lord. All right, I'm gonna go quick. Next is presenter incentives. I will tell you, you can measure the success of an organization based upon how many good presenters you have in the organization. So what you might want to create is a presenter school. Teach people how to speak. Teach people how to give their presentation. Teach people how to train. You could do a 6-week course in your local market or a 6-week Zoom class. And all it is for people to learn how to present the product, how to present the opportunity, how to present, how to get started. Teaching them, having them practice, creating a school, a presenter school. I remember there was one person that I trained, kind of mentored. You know who it is, I'm not gonna out them, but they were kind of stuck and it was all on them and they were really struggling. So I came up with a challenge and a campaign for them was to create a presenter school in their local market. And literally for 6 weeks, every Monday night for 3 hours, they got everybody together and they taught and they practiced and they taught and they practiced. And this person went from being the only person that ever did a presentation to having 20 to 30 people that were highly skilled at doing presentations, which created duplication like they'd never experienced before. So sometimes come up with a little campaign, bam, it unlocks everything. Okay. 20 and 30, we talked about that before. A 20 and 30 campaign, recruit 20 people in 30 days campaign. Do it with your team, see how many people you can get involved in that. A 90-day game plan. That's not for the meek or the weak of heart. That is a serious game plan. But a 90-day game plan strategy on how to go all out for 90 days, that you're dealing with a very small group of people that will engage in that. But sometimes, if I'm working with somebody who's stuck, my assignment for them is to do something outrageous, like a 90-day game plan or a 20 and 30 to get unstuck. That would be my assignment to them. And then I'll see if they do it. If they don't do it, then I back it up. Let's get 10, let's get 5. Let's do something to get more activity. My job is to help them take more action than they would have taken. That's what I do. That's what you do. So 90-day game plan can be part of it. One of my favorites ever is a company I work with in Europe that does this. And I've worked with a few companies in the United States that I've coached and kind of consulted with. and I helped them with this concept, and it's called the Clubhouse. And I learned this from an organization that uses a Clubhouse. They actually have 4, I think now, but they started with one Clubhouse in Mallorca, Spain, on the beach. And they bought this house that sleeps 20 people. It's on the beach, and it's beautiful. And come back to the chart again for me. So if they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This company has 8 levels within the organization, 8 ranks within the organization. A person who is a 7 or an 8 are eligible to reserve the Clubhouse. And the Clubhouse is only available for new level 4s. So these people host, they book it for 3 days. These people fly themselves in. These people have the resort. They fill it with new level 4 people. They spend 3 days with them, blowing their minds, dream building, training around the clock, partying on the beach, training again, partying, connecting, training. And these people come from all over the world. They go into this unbelievable spot, and they walk out of there, they go back to their dingy little houses, and they go, I want some more of that. I'm gonna get back there. I'm gonna get a house like that of my own someday. And this mansion ended up costing the company nothing. Because they charge these guys like $1,000 a day for like cleaning and, you know, some basic food and stuff, $1,000 a day. So it costs these guys $3,000 for this event. These people fly themselves in. The company ends up having this whole kind of center, this clubhouse for free. They have 4 of these now, one in Greece, one in Mallorca, one in the United States. Where's the other one, Italy? I don't know, 3 or 4. So think about what you would do if you as a leader had the ability to have this incredible mansion that you brought all your new people that got to that rank to go to that event for 3 days, and you just poured yourself into them for 3 days. Will there be tacos? Yes, there will be tacos. So that clubhouse, I did 2 companies that I consult with are in process to doing that right now. I would highly recommend it. It's literally free for them and crazy not to do. Okay. Recognition campaigns. Could you do a recognition campaign around rank, around income, around activity, around anything? What could you do to recognize behavior people will kill to get recognized? Certificates, awards, plaques, trophies, anything. Go online and find out some trophies and find out what people will do to get that trophy with their name engraved on it. They'll do unbelievable things. Recognition. Sampling. If you're one of the biggest campaigns that's working extremely well for a lot of companies that have sampling ability is to sample their products. Sometimes the company supports a sampling program, but many times it's just the field creating a sampling program. And if you get creative here, if you get creative, there's always a way. I mean, there's one company that works in hair care products. How do you sample a big bottle of hair care, shampoo, conditioner, oil treatment? How do you do that? How's that even possible? Here's what they did. They came up with a borrow basket. They call it a borrow basket. And they put this beautiful basket and they put all of their best products in there and they borrow it to a person for 3 days, for 5 days, and say, try these and see if you like them. And the number of orders they get out of the borrow basket just blows away other activities. It's just incredible. Getting people to spend big money on a big bottle that they've never tried is one thing, but get them to try a little bit of it for three days, 4 days, 5 days, 7 days, whatever it happens to be. The borrow basket strategy is working incredibly well. Sometimes if it's nutrition, it's easy to sample. Skincare, a borrow basket might work. So think about how you could use sampling to create. What are you trying to do with sampling? Create more activity than would have been there. If I show you how to put together 5 borrow baskets, are you more likely or less likely to share one of those baskets with a prospect? More likely. And from that, are you likely to get better results? Yes, because they're going to enjoy it. And are you going to get more orders from it? Are you going to build your confidence? Is it skill proof? Is it fear proof? The answer is yes. So sampling. There's lots that you can do. Campaigns on social media. You could do a campaign on Facebook Lives, a campaign around ad tag message group. You could create a sample post and have everybody in your team post it, what they call swipe copy in the marketing world. Do this in your own style. Everybody who does it gets put into a competition. You could do a watch party campaign. You could do a Zoom campaign. You could do a testimonial campaign. Lots of different things you can do on social media. Home parties or socials, you could do campaigns around those when those come back into style. Here's what I learned about home parties over the course of my career. And I know we're wrapping up here. I'm going to try and bang through these last few before we finish in about 10 minutes. But here's what I know about home parties. A lot of companies are built on home parties, and they're really built around the good soldiers that will do them, because here's typically what happens. Usually, less than 5% of people will actually have the courage to host a home party. It means 95% of people will never do one. So if you pound on home parties too hard, then you actually discourage the 95% that are too scared to do it because it's too big of a step, okay? So you still want to reward it, you still want to promote it, but it might be a campaign to do one home party. If they've never done one, it's the only people eligible for this campaign are people who've never done one. And those people get to be part of this promotion, okay? Or it could be a 4 home parties in 4 weeks campaign to get people to do it consistently, maybe if they've fallen out of doing them. Which would cause your leaders to do what? They've got to do it, because if they don't do it, they're not part of it. You know what I mean? Because you're going to be publishing the people who are doing it. Create some peer pressure to make it happen. So home parties, think about all the things you can do around those. Here's a big one. Contribution. There are people who will do things for charity that will never do for their own income. People that will do things for others that will never do for themselves. Create a campaign around charitable action or charitable giving. Create a campaign that will cause every local market to raise money for some powerful cause that you believe in. To create a campaign to raise money, to raise awareness, to volunteer, create a campaign to repair a playground, create a campaign to paint walls or build houses, create a campaign to support a school. Get the team together. Ask the company if they'll match some of the contributions that your team creates in order to be able to do something. You will feel so many people step into your business when you add a contribution level into your campaigns, then we'll show up for any other thing. You could do a walkathon, you could do a bowl-a-thon, you could do a sell the junk out of your house. You can do, everybody on the team is going to donate the first $100 in commissions that they earn this month from their opportunity, or it's a 10% campaign for 1 month in order to be able to go towards some incredible cause, and then get it in the media, get it being bragged about to other people. Let other people know that you're a team that cares, you're an organization that cares. Recognize the people who raise the most. Find a way to connect charitable giving and charitable work to what you do. That's pretty much, I mean, I could go, because are you seeing in each one of these, there's probably 10. In contribution, there's probably 10 different ways that you can go in this. Different ways you could look at it. This is where you need to use your creativity, and you need to test what works. What causes your organization to respond? What causes your organization to go strong? What causes your organization to take another step? What causes your organization to be able to move and take more action than they would have taken? That's what you need to be focused on. And success leaves clues. And I will tell you, not every time does what worked before work again. I remember Jordan Adler, my friend, told me he did like a little day cruise off of California coast. And it was wildly successful. So he did it again 6 months later, and it bombed completely. So you just never know. Sometimes it's repeatable, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you can't do the same thing exactly the same way. Sometimes you got to change up the logo. Sometimes you got to change the duration. Sometimes you got to make it faster with more intensity. Sometimes it's longer and rewards, greater ongoing performance. Old campaign that I came up with a long time ago that became core to one company's system was what I called Players Club. And this is something I would recommend for every company also, which is create a basic level of activity. And here's how they did it inside their company. Is you'd get points. You get X number of points for a customer, X number of points for a distributor, X number of points for like 3 or 4 activities. And you had to have a certain amount of points per month, and it was pretty easy to do. All you had to do is basically be minimally active. But if you did it, you were qualified for that month. Boom. You qualified for June. You're in the club. And now if you stayed qualified for 12 consecutive months, then you started earning an extra $300 a month to go towards lifestyle or car or whatever. And if you missed a month, you had to start over. So boy, what it did for retention was unbelievable. And if you stayed for 2 years, the money went up. You stayed for 3 years, the money went up. Plus you got more and more prestige. Stayed for 4 or 5 years, the money went up. And it was worth it for the company because they were rewarding long-term retention. Because think about it, if you're in for 18 months, are you gonna miss a month? Never. You're just not gonna miss. You're just gonna stay and stay and stay and stay and stay. Even if you're like, oh God, I gotta go figure this out. I got 3 days before the end of the month to get my points in. I gotta get my points in to figure it out. So that's an example of something that was a short-term campaign that turned into a long-term system for them. I think they changed it to Performance Club or something like that. It started as Players Club. But it still works to this day. That was 20 years ago. I worked with that company to help create that system, 20 plus, maybe 21 years ago. It was created, still going today. So look, we got a lot to cover in a short time to get there tomorrow. 3 hours, I'm gonna go hard, just so you know. I hope you got some notes. If you got, do me a favor right now, everybody that's watching, go into the comments, even if you've been lurking, and I want you to type one thing that you liked best out of the last 3 hours. What's one thing that you liked best out of the last 3 hours? I'm curious to show. Can you throw up the slide of all the different, John, can you throw up the slide so everybody can see that and they can take a picture? One thing that you liked best. And then I got some closing ideas for you. The Clubhouse, it's good, man, I'm telling you. If I started a company, and I never will, but if I did, I would have a Clubhouse from day one. For sure. Yeah, campaigns are sexy, aren't they? I love them. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Campaigns buy you time. Campaigns buy you time to develop systems. Systems buy you time. Campaigns and systems buy you time for a person or a group of people to become skilled. And skills buy you time to develop leaders. And leaders are the engine that drives everything. That drives everything. Now, you have 24 hours well, actually 21 hours. 21 hours to be able to watch this in replay, okay? And then it goes away, is that correct? Till 9 a.m. Till 9 a.m. tomorrow. So that's 21 hours, right? Okay, 21 hours, till 9 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow to watch the replay of this session. Then it goes away and we'll start session 2, okay? So if you wanna watch this, if you wanna rewatch, you wanna take some additional notes, if you didn't get everything. What I want to do with this, as always, is to over-deliver like crazy, and I hope I've done that for you today, over-delivered like crazy. Tomorrow, I'm going to hit it much as hard or harder as we hit it today. As we get into systems, we get into more leadership. We talk about a lot of leadership concepts, how to solve a bunch of problems. We got a lot that we're going to need to cover. And for those of you who are six-figure earners and above, I would highly recommend that you click on the Next Level Mastermind and become a part of that. This experience, this event is free for Next Level Mastermind people. You know, they kind of get access to virtually everything that we do. And there's one other event that I will tell you, which is September 16th through the 19th, which is here in our home. It is 4 full days. Like we just covered for 3 hours. We're going to cover like 9 hours a day for 4 days, okay? But it's personal. It's coaching and working with you personally, okay? We don't require that you're a six-figure earner to attend, but we do require that you're serious. I mean, if you're looking for basic skills, this is going to be way, way, way over your head. But a 4-day deep dive experience called Beyond Leadership. To end, to wrap it up, I'll show you a brief, how long is that video? 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. You'll be able to check it out, check that out. And then when that's over, we're done for today and we'll be back at 9 a.m. Pacific tomorrow, okay? So check out the Beyond Leadership video. Thank you for all your comments. I love you all, it was exciting, and look forward to seeing you in the morning. Check it out.
I came to Beyond Leadership because I rose to being the 5th person to hit the rank that I'm in right now in the company that I'm in, and I knew I needed more.
Coming here and learning from Eric Worre and being around leaders, I realize now that we cannot dream big enough.
This is my 7th event this year. I've attended 6 other events, and I can definitely say this has been by far nothing like anything else I've experienced this year.
I wish I came Beyond Leadership when I was about a year in the industry. I would have laid my foundation and relaid my foundation a bit better.
Hands down, the best training I have been to in my entire career. I mean, just the first day, we could have been like, money, worth the money, totally worth the money.
This is literally the piece I've needed that's been missing in my business, and it's all been given to me here. Like, my mind is like, it's like crazy. I can't get over it.
My wish for every single one of you is, no matter where you're at in the life cycle, is reinvention this week.
The energy is like nothing you've ever felt before, and I wish I could bottle it up in a little bottle and spray it on everyone when I walk by, because it's just unbelievable.
If you want to get to the next level, you need to come to the next level events like Beyond Leadership or the Mastermind.
I decided to come to Beyond Leadership because I wanted to take my skills, or whatever skills my team believes I have, and I need them to be the best. And I wanted to get around the best. And to me, Eric Worre over the last 20 years has been the best.
He's just the godfather of network marketing.
In the last 12 months, my business went ×3 when it comes to the income, but I would say even like in the knowledge, even more than that.
I knew, I mean, honestly, them talking about the systems, that was what made me decide I needed to be here, but that's what made me decide my team needed to be here.
when it comes to the income, but I would say even like in the knowledge, even more than that.
I knew, honestly, them talking about the systems, that was what made me decide I needed to be here, but that's what made me decide my team needed to be here. We had 10 people total here.
I can see further. I can see where I can reach my goals more specific. How can I teach my team? How can I do something bigger, think bigger?
It was just amazing.